every single day, cause I love my occupation. Hey, I'm on vacation. If you don't like your life, then you should go and change it. Hey, I'm on vacation every single day, cause I love my occupation. Hey, I'm on vacation every single day, every single day. Every single day, every single day. Every single day, every single day. Everybody sour like a lemon tree. I'm just smiling down upon my enemies. Do the shit and love it on the daily. Say you want your job, but you'll never leave. Never leave, but that ain't gonna be me. That ain't gonna be me. My brother called me up, said he saw me on TV. I said it wasn't easy, but right now I'm living crazy. Feel this tension from the ground up, now my hands ain't so greasy. Feel me? Hey, I'm on vacation every single day, cause I love my occupation. Hey, I'm on vacation every single day, every single day. Every single day, every single day. Every single day, every single day. Illuminate my future bright, so thankful for everything. Rejuvenate my inner light as I work hard for all I need. Open arms, embracing life and all the which you gave me. Hard work it pays off, I'm happy now it's paying me. Coastline sometimes it feel as if I'm blown away. I live a life I live, enjoy the ride along the way. I'll make a living out of living, yeah that's what I say. I got one life to live, but I would live no other way. Hey, I'm on vacation every single day, cause I love my occupation. Hey, I'm on vacation every single day, every single day. Every single day, every single day. Every single day. Tango my earlobe, I can't hear, I'm here though. I may be a weirdo, but this is my year, yo. My life may be crazy, my lack of the lazy has let me do shit that I love on the daily. To do the shit I love upon the daily. Everybody go and live your daily. Hey, I'm on vacation every single day, cause I love my occupation. Hey, I'm on vacation. If you don't like your life, then you should go and change it. Hey, I'm on vacation every single day, cause I love my occupation. Hey, I'm on vacation every single day, every single day. Every single day, every single day. Every single day, every single day.
All right. It's great that the sun decides to jump on right when I jump on. And it's sitting right over there. Well, on the 17th of this month, last Thursday night, we had a storm come through. And I was able to get 4 hours of notes on a live called Power to Pivot with Tony Robbins, Dean Graiosi, and a few others. And I wanted to give you guys a a few tidbits and just a little highlights here and there on a couple of notes that I've taken with that. So we were all in a live. I paid some money. It's private Zoom with these people. One of them was Dean Graiosi. The other one was Jenna Kutcher, Trent Shelton, Brendan Berchard, Nick Centonatasso. I'm butchering these names, I know. But Jamie Kern Lima and Tony Robbins were some of them that I was able to grab a hold of and get before the my internet went out. But so first up was Dean Graiosi, and he's the multiple best-selling author, investor, entrepreneur, trainer, and he's worth $35 million. So he's somebody you'd want to listen to and read the books he's got. His points were your inner self-doubt wants you to stay where you are, but there's a bigger you who wants more, so you want to feed that voice. So your inner self-doubt wants you to stay where you're at. Which voice are you listening to? So Dean brought to the table, which voice are you listening to? Are you listening to your self-doubt? Are you that says that you're not that smart, that you can't do this? Or are you listening to the one who's ready to go and ready to take a risk and ready to put yourself to another level? Because there's that inner being that wants you to go to that level. So he also says you take the best and worst case scenario of staying where you're at, what can and can't happen. Well, I mean, what's the best thing that can happen, what's the worst thing that can happen. And then the best and worst case scenario, if you take the risk and go for it. You burn your bridges behind you and you go for it. What's the best and worst case scenario? You know, you make it or you don't make it, but you learn from your mistakes and you keep on going. So, I mean, it's a win-win if you take the risk and you go forward. So, he says, take a chance, feel alive, fall in love with your past instead of resenting it. Fall in love with your past instead of resenting it. The gift of your past puts you where you are. You learn from that. Now it's time to learn a new trick. Going across that bridge to the other side, fail, break, work, and then do more than just survive, so that you can thrive. So that was a few points that Dean Graiosi brought to the table. The next person that was speaking was Jenna Kutcher. She's a digital marketer expert. She's also worth $1 million. And she quoted, the way you spend your life, the way you spend your time is the way you spend your life. She said also to follow your passion. So the yeses that you are committing to now, Jenna says, is that are the yeses that you're saying now, is that a no to what you love and where you want to be? So if you decide to go out and party with this group of friends, are they going to propel you forward to where you want to be, or are they going to hold you back? That's just one example. And another thing she says, what are you saying yes to? What exactly are you saying yes to? And she also says, don't hide the mess. That's part of your message. Everybody wants to see who you are and where you're coming from, and not just the big and bright shiny cars and the big houses and everything else. They want to see the trudgery and what you've gone through to get to where you're at. They don't want to just see the shiny cars and everything, because that's a pie in the sky kind of people want to see where you're coming from. So if another thing I'm going to put at the table is if your 10-year-old self saw you today, what would he or she say to you now? Your 10-year-old self wanted to be a ballerina or a firefighter. So what would you say now to your 10-year-old self if you're not a ballerina or a firefighter? What would you say to your 10-year-old self now? Also, she also says we box ourselves into a space that we cannot get out of, that we think we cannot get out of, but that thinking you can change. And then you'll find a place where you can get out. You'll find that crack where you can push open and go for it. People don't care what you do. They care about who you are. So you're not out there selling your product or service. You're out there selling yourself. You're putting yourself forward, putting your best foot forward. She says, share your messy middles. So 5 things, write down 5 things, she says, that you're known for. Like, for example, motherhood, marriage, wife, that kind of thing. Creating deeper relationships. So, and then take 4 of those to enhance the one thing you want to be known for. So what do you want to be known for? Do you want to be known for like a pro marketer or nomad, marketing nomad? So use that motherhood and put your kids in the videos with you and use that as your, your force that's behind you to propel you forward. So remember what it was like to be a child again and reconnect with that. And passions turn into your purpose. Reconnect with your inner child, what your inner child wanted to be, and reconnect with the creativity part of yourself. So that's what Jenna Kutcher brought to the table. So the next one was Trent Shelton. And of course, he's a former NFL wide receiver. Now he's the most impactful speaker, and he's worth $1 million. And he was talking about applying yourself. Application takes transformation. If you just apply yourself, then you will be able to transform. If you don't apply yourself, you're not going to transform into the person you want to be. He said, don't wait to be perfect. Don't be afraid of the process. And he says, the road to success is built out of failure and a non-perfecter. You have to decide and you have to apply yourself. And you're learning and growing all the time. If you're not learning, you're not growing at all. So you have a passion that you are to be someone great. Don't compare yourself to anybody. That's what's wrong with social media today, he says. Everybody's comparing themselves to somebody else. Why is she doing this, or why is he doing this? How come he's getting all the sales? How come she's getting all the sales? Well, you compare yourself to your own efforts. If you're not putting in the work, then you're not going to get the sales. Okay, and he says life is about what happens to you and more about how you respond to what happens. So, like Jenna says about the messes, you use those as your building block to propel yourself forward. So if you respond to a setback in a negative way, then your whole day is shot. That's not a good way to do it. You want to just spend a few minutes, think about it, contemplate a plan, and get creative with what just happened, and use that maybe in your marketing, or use that to propel yourself forward. You live in the possibilities, and you start your new beginnings. Find your why and get connected. Make a message out of the mess is what Trent wanted to bring to the table. And he says, let go of your ego. That's another thing, a point he wrote down. Another thing he made a point is let go of your ego, or you won't progress forward. And it says you've got to believe in you. Things are thrown at you because you are the only one who can take that particular experience and use it and make it a message out of the mess. You can put your unique spin on it. That's what Trent brought to the table. And then Brendan Berchard, and if anybody doesn't know who he is, he's a #1 New York Times bestseller, an author, and a leading performance coach. And he is worth $22 million. He was talking about bringing joy into the world. It's our responsibility right now. Everybody is messed up because of what's happening. And it's our duty as marketers and coaches and trainers to bring that positivity back into the world. People are afraid to be seen starting small. They are embarrassed about only 3 views on a video. They're so worried about what people would say. You're trying to be perfect. You got to choose not to spiral down with the negative. You got to choose to go on an upward spiral by action. That's what propels you upwards. If you're continually going down and that negative spiral, the way to get out of that is action. You got to take action on something. Just do something and to get yourself out of that. Don't be oblivious to the obvious state within you. When someone piques your interest, don't dabble, just dive in. So that's your creativity trying to come out. If something at least piques your interest, like the HEAL community, if that piques your interest, don't just dabble in it, go all in. Just dive in, because that's what you're creating, your inner self. You're taking a risk. Self wants to go out there and take a chance and do something for yourself, to propel yourself forward. So you have to teach to learn. You don't be an expert at first. You help people first, and then you become the expert. So you don't learn everything you can first and then become an expert at it. You become an expert by teaching others and trudging along together side by side. And that's how you become the expert. You teach and you learn. You learn and you love sharing what you learn. So get in the habit of loving your past, loving your lessons, and being passionate about it, and then teaching that and portraying that passionate to other people. Don't think you have to do everything. You need to be consistent on social media. That's what he's talking about. Give absolute value, have great energy, and care about people. Doubt, Brendan says, doubt is not a signal to stop. It's to figure out. Doubt is not a signal to stop. It's a signal to not to stop. So if you're starting to have a little bit of doubt, that's not a signal to stop yourself. That's a signal to go forward with it. If you're waiting for permission or perfection, you're in the downward spiral. You need to take action, learn, and teach what you learn. Don't take a handout, figure it out. That's what Brendan says. So Nick Santonastasso, is Santonastasso. So Nick, he's a medical miracle. He's a bodybuilder and fitness model. And his net worth is $1 million. He was talking about how focus is extremely important. Focusing on the negative will not serve you, and what you focus on will magnify in your life. So if you focus on the positive, that will magnify into your life. You got to get comfortable with the uncomfortable situations. And I don't know if you've seen him, he has no arms and no legs. And he is a bodybuilder and he's a motivator. And his parents taught him, hey, figure this out. They constantly put him in uncomfortable positions. There was the food on the plate in front of him, and they handed him the spoon, and he said, okay, figure it out. And with his one little limb, he had to figure it out. He got frustrated. He didn't want to do it. He said, why don't you just feed me? I can't do it. But they said, nope, you got to figure it out. They would not let him accept his handicap. So he says, develop a relationship with failure. If failure is a friend, you will learn till the end. What's the point of winning if you don't celebrate? Who are the people that are holding you back? Then you just simply don't give all them your energy. Protect your home, protect your time, and protect your energy. Don't give the people who are holding you back, the naysayers, people who don't think that this is this business, you're gonna make it. They think it's a scam or something like that. They're holding you back. You know it's gonna work. There's tons of proof on this page right now that this was working. Don't let people convey their limiting beliefs on you. Model the results of those you want. Find your mentor in this heal group and model that, and you'll be the same spot, same space. So what do you want? Who do you want to serve? When you focus on the opportunities are all around you. And then you are your greatest investment. That's what Nick has to say. And then another speaker was Jamie Kern-Lima. She was a newscaster. She's a very, very humble person when she was speaking to us. She had a makeup line. She was the CEO of L'Oreal and sold for millions of dollars. Her net worth was $410 million, and she's also an entrepreneur. She says, where you come from does not dictate where you're going. Sometimes knowing when to let go of a dream is making room for a new dream to come through. So setbacks are really setups for your next trip or your next step. Let me say that again. Setbacks are really setups for your next step. Believe the why of what you're doing and where you're going. Your why has to be strong enough, she says. When you share your story, someone may need to hear it that day. And say to yourself, I am destined for greatness. Be a lifetime student, she says. And she's also coming out with a book, Believe It, The Underdog to the Unstoppable. So if you want to look it up, by Jamie Kern-Lima. So, of course, Tony Robbins. Whoever doesn't know who Tony Robbins is, he's an author, coach, motivational speaker. Tony Robbins is worth $600 million. He says, you've got to accept the change for now. All this thing is going on around us. You got to accept the change. But you shift that and create it. Time to create, time to shift. You got to get in different environments that makes you creative. If where you're at is not safe right now, or is bringing you down, get out of that space and go take a drive or just do something. Get yourself out of that space and go create. If you're lucky enough to live by the beach, go sit on a bench at the beach, and just create and enjoy the atmosphere. Have the right beliefs, Tony says. Invisible force that creates everything. Shift what's between your ears, or you will never get what you desire. He's talking about mindset, and that's in your bulletproof. Go back through that again. If you're not where you want to be in your mentality, your mindset, go back through it over and over. Don't just go through it one time and leave it there. You go through it over and over and make sure it sticks into your, I would say go through it every day for 30 days, the mindset in that bulletproof. You have to have the strongest belief than anyone that you'll succeed. No matter what the naysayers say, you have to be the one that believes in yourself and believes in your that you'll succeed. Don't depend on somebody else to tell you will succeed. You tell yourself. So you have the right tools and strategies and the right beliefs, you will find a way. So the right tools and strategies are right there in your back office for you to propel forward. That's all you need. Just go back there, redo it over and over. Immerse yourself in whatever you want to achieve. If you want to achieve the marketing nomad status, if you want to achieve just a few of the extra dollars in your bank account, it'll help propel you to the next month, or do you want to just thousands of extra dollars where you can take that vacation you want to take? Where do you want to be? You have to believe in yourself that you can do it, and put the steps that we have in the back office and implement every single one of those, and then you'll be able to do that. You need to shift out of that fear mode. That's what Tony Robbins said. Must have faith in the ability to move forward. People die in car crashes all the time. Does that mean we don't get in a car to go someplace? People need to get places. There is a lot of possibilities, he says. Believe in yourself and that some of those possibilities are yours. That's all I have for today, guys. Thanks for listening.